ओम नमः परमऋषिभ्यो नमः परमऋषिभ्यः। हरिः ओम। यस्यान्तर्नादिमध्यं न हि करचरणं नामगोत्रं न सूत्रं नो जातिर्नैव वर्णा न भवति पुरुषो न नपुंसं न च स्त्रीं नाकारं नो विकारं न हि जनिमरणं नास्ति पुण्यं न पापं तत्त्वं नो तत्त्वमेकं सहजसमरसं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। मौनव्याख्या प्रकटितपरब्रह्मतत्त्वं युवानं वर्षिष्ठान्तेव सदृशिगणैः आवृतं ब्रह्मनिष्ठैः आचार्येन्द्रं करकलितचिन्मुद्रमानन्दरूपं स्वात्मा रामं मुदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिमीडे वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय यतये शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादिनगेन्द्रसङ्घपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधां बिभ्रतीं तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततं पूर्णाय बोधात्मने। अपारसच्चित्सुखवारिराशेः यस्योर्मिमात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि। देहं मृण्मयवज्जडात्मकमहं बुद्धिर्न तस्यास्त्यतो नाहं तत्तदभावसुप्तिसमये सिद्धात्मसद्भावतः कोऽहं भावयुतः कुतो वरधिया दृष्ट्वात्मनिष्ठात्मनाम् सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचलशिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयं स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। पवित्रं चरितं यस्याः पवित्रं जीवनं तथा पवित्रता स्वरूपिण्यै तस्यै देव्यै नमो नमः। नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयातितरतश्च अर्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि कस्मै येन विभासितोऽयमतुलो ज्ञानप्रदीपः पुरां तद्रूपेण च नारदाय मुनये कृष्णाय तद्रूपिणां योगीन्द्राय तदात्मनाथ भगवद्रादाय कारुण्यतः तच्छुद्धं विमलं विशोकममृतं सत्यं परं धीमहि धर्मः प्रोज्झितगैतवोऽत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सतां वेद्यं Vastavamatra vastu shivadam tapatrayoन्मूलनम् Srimad Bhagavate Mahamunikrite kim va paraihi Ishvara sadyo hridya varudhyate trakrtibhis shushrushabhis takshanat Nigamakalpatarorgalitam phalam Shukamukhat amritadrava-sanyutam pibada bhagavatam rasam alayam muhuraho rasikaha bhuvi bhavukaha Yam pravrajantamanupeta-krityam Dvaipayano virahakatara ajuhava Putredi tanmayadaya taravobhineduhutam sarvabhuta hridayam munimanatosmi Yasvanubhavamakhilashrutisaramekam Adhyatmadipam adititirshadam tamondham Samsarinam karunayaha purana guhyam tam vyasasunumupayami gurum muninam Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet Sachidanandarupaya vishvotpatyadihedave tapatraya vinashaya Shri Krishnaya vayam numaha Krishnaya Vasudevaya Haraye Paramatmane Pranadakleshanashaya Govindaya Namo Namaha Satyavradam Satyaparam Trisatyam Satyasya Yonim Nihitam Cha Satyem Satyasya Satyam Vrita Satyanetram Satyatmakam Tvam Sharanam Prapannaham We are today in our fourth day of this Bhagavata talks. And we are just entering Uddhava Gita. Actually, we have already begun that. Uddhava, from his very childhood, was serving Krishna. He was with Krishna. Yaf panjahayana matraha. Even at the age of 5, he started doing Krishna seva. So such a one, all his life he has served Bhagavan, and now it is time for the form to disappear. Every form will disappear one day or the other. Even Guru's form will disappear. So the person must be ready to have that nirguna bhakti. Bhakti will not go, but the form will disappear. Gopis say, when Krishna went away from Vrindavanam to Mathura, to Dwaraka, Gopikas, they are saying, one has to know that Krishna is our own Atma. Otherwise, we will suffer. Kurvantihi tvai ratim kushalaha swa atman nityapriye patisutadibirartidaihi kim. They say, this kushalaha, this jnanis, those who are the realized beings, they take delight only in the Atman, not in any name and form. Kurvantihi tvai ratim kushalaha swa atman nityapriya, because there is nityapriya there. All other priya will come and go. Anityapriya. This is something which is very intimate, deep within oneself. All other love, attachment for pati sutta, husband, children, family people, friends, everything will come and go. Artidaihi. So, the real love is with Bhagavan, who is in your own heart as your own self. So this, every great Guru will teach today or one day or the other, he will give that message. When Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi was to leave, the cancer was so severe. One devotee went to him and cried, Bhagavan, you are going away from us. Maharshi said, where could I go? I am here. All great teachers, when their form is going to disappear, devotees will feel the pain. And then we have to know that the Guru or our Ishtadevata has merged in our own self, in the Atma. Ishvaro Guru Ratmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. So, ultimately, one's own Atma is Bhagavan, and in that you find complete fulfillment. This teaching Krishna gave to Uddhava. He said, you establish your mind in the Atman, in the self, and move about in the world. The world will be seen, but know that it is not real. Vidhi Maya Manomayam, know that it is Manomayam. The sensory perception, the mind, it is all a jugglery of the mind, it is not real. So see the world as Atman and move about absolutely free. This is the teaching given by Bhagavan to Uddhava. So Uddhava now says, he is not considering himself worthy enough to take to the path of parivrajya, sannyasa. Just opposite to Arjuna. Arjuna was ready to go away, but Bhagavan didn't leave him. But Uddhava is not ready to go. Ramakrishna used to say a very beautiful anecdote. One lady tells her husband that, see, my brother is every day telling he will become a sannyasi. So he is going to renounce. So you please advise him not to do that. He has so many responsibilities, he should not do that. So that person, that gentleman will say, no, see, don't fear about that. Nobody become a monk like that. It is not possible. So don't fear. So next day also she will, every day, that youngster is telling his sister that I am going to become a monk. One day this person was coming from the river after taking his bath with a wet towel in his, only one wet towel in his hip. And this lady again started her song. She said, see, you have no attachment to my brother. He is my brother, that is why you are not concerned. And today also he told that he is going to become a sannyasi. And he said, see, I told you already that nobody becomes a monk like that. Then she said, how, you know so much about monkhood? How will a person become a monk? He just took over the towel and just put it like this and went away. That husband. He just renounced and went away. Yadahareva virajet tadahareva pravrajet. The moment dispassion comes, the person becomes free. So, Uddhava was not that much confident about himself. When you live with a great master, you should not too much depend upon your own intellect, your own mind, your own book knowledge. Whatever the Guru says, that is Shastra for you. Yoga Vasishta says, Yad Praknyaihi upadishyate. Whatever may be, the Guru is giving you that teaching. That is the Upadesha for you. Not what you get in the Shastras, not what you have thought about rationally through your own intellect. Guru Vakya is more important. Guroho anugrahenaiva puman purnah prashantaye. Even Krishna says this, and Krishna is meeting Kuchela, Sudama. They were having a very beautiful conversation. They are childhood friends. And Krishna is asking Sudama, how are you? And Kuchela said, I am very happy. Kuchela, although was a very poor person, he says, Krishnasya asit sakha kashit brahmano brahmavittamaha viraktaha indriyartheshu prashantatma jitendriya. He was a prashantatma. He was so peaceful because he was a Brahmavit. So he says, I am peaceful. And he is asking Krishna, how are you? See, both very opposite, because one person is poor, the other person is Shriyapati. He is staying amidst so much prosperity, Mahalakshmi, and Krishna says, I am also very peaceful, very joyful, very opposite. Krishna, and how is this joy? And Krishna says, Guroho anugrahenaiva puman purnah prashantaye. Because of that Sandipani's anugraha, both of us are peaceful. It is the phalam, fruit of that Guru anugraha. Because of that, even a rich person also attains that peace, a poor person also. That is what Shankaracharya says. Yogarato va, bhogarato va, sangarato va, sangavihinaha, yasya brahmani ramate chittam, nandati, nandati, nandatyeva. A Guru anugraha means the mind takes delight in Brahman. That is Guru anugraha. So here, Krishna gave that to Uddhava. Then Uddhava says, he explodes. Oh Lord, Yogesha, Yoga Vinyasa, Yogatman, Yoga Sambhava, Nishreyasaya me proktaha, Tyagas Sannyasa Lakshanaha. Yogesha, you are the Lord of Yoga. Yoga Vinyasa, you have given yoga to this world. Through you, so many yogas have come in this world, so many upasana paddhati has come in this world, so much jnana has descended in this world. So you are the goal, you are the sadhana. Yoga Vinyasa, and you are the self, the center of yoga. Yogatman, Yoga Sambhava, Nishreyasaya me proktaha, Tyagas Sannyasa Lakshanaha. You have given me permission to renounce the world so that I will attain the highest realization, Nishreyasa, moksha, the Jivan Mukta Avastha. So you have given me that highest upadesha, but is it so easy, Krishna? Tyagoyam dushkaro bhuman kamanam vishayatmabhihi sutaram tvai sarvatman abhaktairiti me matihi. O Bhagavan, this tyaga is not that easy, especially for those who are abhakta. It's not a real bhakta, not a great devotee. He cannot, that in a easy way, he cannot renounce the world. Renunciation is not that easy. Anything that you hold in your mind, even if you renounce, it will stay in your mind. So first, there should be desirelessness. When there is absolute desirelessness, actually renunciation is only secondary. It is only a byproduct. Because when you are desireless, you don't want something, that thing will fall away from you. So, prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogadan. Ita sarve pramuchyante kamayesya hridi shritaha athamartyo amrito bhavati atra brahma samashnute. When the desires are all removed from the mind, here he attains Brahman. He becomes free here. So, Uddhava says, Tyagoyam dushkaro bhuman. He calls Krishna as Bhuma. Bhuma means infinite, Ananta. As long as you have duality, you are alpam. Alpam means finite, limited. Bhuma means the limitless, the infinite. Yatra nanyat pashyati, nanyat shrunoti, nanyat vijanati, sabhuma. Yatra anyat pashyati, anyat shrunoti, anyat vijanati, tadalpam. Bhumeva sukham, nalpe sukhamasti. Chandogya Upanishad says, you have sukham, ananda, bliss only in the infinite, where there is nothing other than the self is beheld. You do not see anything the other. The other is not there for you. So you are in the infinite, Purna. So he calls Krishna as that experience. It's a mystery, When you see a great Mahapurusha, a Jivan Mukta, you don't look at him as a person. When devotees saw Ramakrishna, they saw him as Purna Brahma. Not as a person. M.P. Pandit, who was a great disciple of Aurobindo, he wrote about Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi a book. And the title of that book is Mighty Impersonality. Not a personality. Mighty impersonality. No person at all. No individuality. No I. So, when he looks at Krishna, he says, you are Bhuma, oh Lord. You are infinite. Tyago yam dushkaro bhuman kamanam vishayatma bhihi. As long as the person is a vishayatma, his mind is filled with vishaya, you ask him to give up things, but he will be carrying things in his mind. Sutaram, so first he should have bhakti. If he has intense bhakti to you, Tyaga will come very easily. So bhakti is very important, but I am not a bhakta, O Bhagavan. A true bhakta will always say that. When a person says, I am a bhakta, he is not a bhakta. Uddhava says, I do not have bhakti. I am not a bhakta, O Bhagavan, and I am still feeling I, mine. Soham mamahamiti mudhamatir vigadham tvanmayayat virachidatmani sanubandhe tatvanjasa nigaditam bhavata yathaham samsadhayami bhagavan anushadhi bhrityam. I am your bhritya. We have to learn this, how a disciple should behave to the master. That bhava, to have a higher presence is the easiest way to make the ego subside. You have a higher presence, naturally the ego subsides. Otherwise you try to do it, it is very difficult. You need a higher sannidhi. In that sannidhi, the ego easily subsides. So here, Uddhava says, Soham mamaham iti mudhamatihi. I am always feeling I, mine. And I have fallen into that. Of course, this is also your maya. You have very easily, in a simple way, you have anjasa nigatitam. You have simple way, you have said renounce and go. But how to do that? How to renounce this ego? I can renounce outer things. Paul Brenton asked Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, should I give up all my possessions? Maharshi said, the possessor too. He said, that is important. The possessor also should go. So that is not that easy, That comes through only jnana or sharanagati, complete surrender. So tatvanjasa nigaditam bhavata yathaham samsadhayami bhagavan Anushadhi Bhrityam, the same word, in Gita also Arjuna says Anushadhi. You give me Anushasana, you teach me. Here also Uddhava says, I am your Bhritya. There was one great Mahatma, a great tapasvi. He almost has chanted about 100 crores of Ramanama. A great tapasvi with whom I had association for almost more than 30 years. He used to say there are two paths. One is Dasa Marga, the other is Bhritya Marga. So Dasa is, he was also very much associated with Ramakrishna, not directly to Ramakrishna Mutt. He lived in Calcutta for many years. So every Saturday he will go to Dakshineshwar, sit in Thakur's room. He had that feeling for there. He used to say, this Dasa Marga is for only very high devotees like Hanuman. They are real dasas. They have no desire of their own other than their masters. Whatever the master's wills, master says, they are simply perfect channel, perfect instruments. They are real dasas. For us only Bhritya. Bhritya means a servant. I am a servant of Bhagavan. The servant will have his own desires, but he knows I cannot fulfill my desire. I can only obey my master. So this is a little bit different thing. Of course here Bhritya and Dasa is same, but you can have bhava according to yourself, whatever way, that every day you used to chant about more than 1,00,000 of nama. It was not simply Ramanama chanting alone. 3 times he will sit for Sahasravarti Pranava, and he will have his Panchayatana Shiva Puja, and about 200 Surya Namaskara, and he will buy vegetable, everything, cook his food, and clean his ashrama. He will always say, I have a perfect servant with me. That is his own body. He will not allow another person to enter there. So that was a very grand life of austerity. So in my, when I was only 13 or 14, I had association. We will have a lot of fight in between. So I was reading Ramakrishna's ecstasy, samadhi, all that. And I will tell him that. He will say, I do not have any ecstasy or samadhi or anything. I have ajna to do japam. I will do japam. I am doing japam, and I will say, you should have feeling. Say, what feeling? I don't have any feeling. I am simply a Bhritya. I have the ajna, order to do japam, I will do japam. And he will say, it is like some criminal is put in jail and he is asked to break stones. And he has to break stones. He cannot be otherwise. If he stops, he will get beaten. Like that, that Mahashakti has asked me to do this, I will do this. But that method, I found how to have upeksha of the mind. Otherwise, too much you depend upon the mind, you will not be able to do sadhana. Today I have very good mood, I do japa for 5 hours. Tomorrow, no mood, not even 5 minutes. This kind of sadhana is useless. Satu dirghakala nairantarya satkara sevito dridabhumihi. You should have constant long duration of anushtana for a long period. That you can do only if you don't depend upon your mind. Bhava will come or bhava will not come. Don't bother about it. One devotee went to Sharda Devi and said, Mother, I am not getting peace. Even after getting initiated, I am not getting peace. Mother said, my dear child, how is it possible? You chant 10,000 of nama every day for some period and then come back to me and tell whether you have peace or not. People do 108, that too once in a month. And they say we don't have any spiritual progress. So no progress is possible. So without any desire, without any expectation, one should do this anushtana as a bhakti. As a bhakti. Even when we say sadhana, there is a sadhya. If you say bhakti, no problem. It is simply no desire, no motive, just you are ready to chant Bhagavan Nama. And this Mahatma, this Lakshmana Swami used to say, chant every day one verse. Na mokshasya akamsha vibhavavancha vijanamena vijnanapeksha shashimukhi sugechapi na punaha atastvam sanyaje janani jananam yatu mama vai mridani rudrani shiva shiva bhavani iti japataha. No desire for moksha, no desire for any money, wealth or anything, not even wanting freedom from rebirth. Janani jananam yatu mama vai, even if I am born again, mridani rudrani shiva shiva bhavani iti japataha. I will spend that life also doing japa. So that kind of bhakti is needed. That kind of bhava is needed. Absolute freedom. That freedom comes when you surrender to a great master. You don't even bother about liberation. Actually, when you surrender, you have attained liberation. Many Mahatmas, once they attain liberation, they will say, we don't want liberation. In Ramakrishna Parampara, after the direct disciples, there were great mighty spiritual beings like Swami Vrajanandaji. And Swami Vrajanandaji, he joined Ramakrishna Mat as a small young boy. And one day he was doing tremendous tapas, so much of japa he was doing. And Swami Vivekananda's disciple he was. So Swami Vivekananda told him, why are you straining so much? So much effort you are putting. You need not do so much tapas. You just serve the world. See, we have all spoiled our body due to tapas. Now you need not do so much. You serve the world. Don't even desire for moksha. He just laughed and said, Swamiji, you can say that because you have attained it. And he went that side. So then Vivekananda Swami said, see, that kind of enthusiasm is needed. That kind of vairagya is needed. We will say don't do, but they should have that persistence in tapasya. So that is the sign of good spiritual seekers. So here, Uddhava says, Bhagavan, my ego is will not allow me to attain that. So give me that upadesha by which I will attain that atmanubhuti, that jnanam. Satyasyate swadrisha atmana atmanonyam vaktaramisha vibudheshvapina anuchakshe sarve vimohita dhiyaha tavamayaye me brahmadayasthanubhruto bahirartha bhavaha. He calls Bhagavan as Swadrik. A guru is a Swadrik. Swadrik means he is seeing himself. He is looking at himself. He is abiding in himself and giving the teaching. So such a person alone has the adhikara to teach. The Kathopanishad says, Ananya prokte gadiratra nasti. The guru should be an ananya. He should not look at the shishya as anya. Shishya can have bhakti to guru, but the guru should not look at the shishya even as a shishya. He looks at the disciple as himself and just transmits the knowledge. So, satyasyate swadrisha atmana atmanonyam vaktaramisha vibudheshvapi nanuchakshe. Even amongst devas, I do not see such a vakta. A knower who gives the teaching out is an Ashcharya, says the Upanishad. Ashcharya Vakta. Vibudheshvapi nanuchakshe sarve vimohita dhiyaha. Whomever I am seeing in the world, they are all deluded, Bhagavan. vimohita dhiyah, due to Maya. Bahirartha bhavaha, their mind is all extroverted, going out. It is not lodged in the Atma. So I surrender to you. Tasmad bhavantam anavadyam anantaparam sarvajñam ishwaram akuntha vikuntha dhishnyam nirvinnadhihi ahamuha vrijinabhitapto Narayanam Narasakham Sharanam Prapadye. Very beautiful sloka. That is why Bhagavata is called Samadhi Bhasha. In the Sri Vallabha Sampradaya, they have Prasthana Chatushtayam. We generally have Prasthana Traya. They say Vedavakyani, Vyasasya Sutrani, Krishnasya Vakyani, Samadhi Bhasha cha. This Samadhi Bhasha is Bhagavata. And any Aptavachanam is Samadhi Bhasha. You go to Gospel of Ramakrishna, it is Samadhi Bhasha. When Vivekananda Swami speaks, it is Samadhi Bhasha. There is an incident in Swamiji's life. One day, the place where he was staying, those who were staying next to his room, they heard whole night he was speaking. And they asked Swamiji what was happening. Swamiji said, all stuff to give talks, it's all over. And suddenly something popped open within. And Bhagavan is filling inside, things were coming out. This is a kind of samadhi. Where like the clouds comes and pouring down rain, like that the yogi never feels dearth of things. In Prabodha Sudhakara Shankaracharya says, Nityananda Sudha Nidhehe Adhigata San Neelameghas Satam Autkantya Prabala Prabhanjana Bharaihi Akarshito Varshati Vijnanamritam Adbhutam. This cloud is pouring forth Vijnanamritam. Nija vachodhara biraraditam chetaschataka chenna vanchasi trishakrantosi suptosi kim. O mind chataka, don't sleep. Drink this nectar. So this is here, Uddhava says, I surrender to you, Lord, sarvajñam, ishwaram, akuntha vikuntha dhishnyam. Dhishana means the intellect. And his intellect is Akuntha. Akuntha means no doubt, no ajnana, no viparita jnana. See, Vaikuntha means where there is no kuntha. Kuntha is actually vikalpa. Vikuntham just swayam prabham. Bhagavata says Vaikuntha means that swayam prakasha, that self-effulgent dhama. That is Vaikuntha. So here he calls Krishna as Akuntha, as Vikuntha. So, nirvinnadhihi, a perfect dispassion, vairagya. I had enough of this world now, O Lord. Virjinabhitaptaha Narayanam Narasakam. You are Narayana and you are the only friend for a Nara. A man, a human being, he needs a friend. Bhagavata calls Bhagavan as Avijñāta Saka, imperceptible friend. Everyone is having him with them, but we very rarely speak to him. He is there. He is always ready. He is the Avijñāta Saka. So this Avijñāta Saka, you are the Avijñāta Saka. Narayanam Narasakam Sharanam Prapadye. I surrender to you, O Lord. Saying this, Uddhava fell flat before Bhagavan, held his feet and tears were coming out. Give me the teaching, said Uddhava. Krishna looked at him with so much of compassion and started the teaching. Already the highest teaching is given. Now, when Uddhava is asking, Krishna is again elaborating the teaching. That's all. Just like in Bhagavad Gita, the very second chapter, teaching is over. Third chapter, Jnana and Karma, both is over. Fourth chapter, Arjuna is again asking, then the teaching comes. Like that here Uddhava also is asking, Prayena manujaloke lokatattva vichakshanaha samudharandihi atmanam atmaneva ashubhashayat. In Gita, Krishna says, Uddhared atmana atmanam. Swami Vivekananda says, put the whole responsibility on your head, so that all the sleeping powers inside you will wake up. Otherwise, somebody will help you, somebody will do you. If you think like that, your power will go to sleep. So put the whole responsibility on yourself. So here also Krishna says, Uddhared atmanaiva atmanam samudharandihi atmanam atmanaiva ashubhasayat. You have to lift yourself. From where? From your own mind. We have fallen into a sewage, very deep into a sewage, very dirty sewage. That is our own mind. Our own mind. Into a deep pit of our mind we have fallen, and from there how to lift? First you should become aware about your state. Then you should long for that state. The longing should arise to refine you, lift you from that state. Uddhared atmanatmanam magnam samsara varidhau yogarudhatvam samyak darshana nisthaya. By getting established in samyak darshanam, true jnanam, you have to lift yourself from this fallen state. So here Bhagavan says, lift yourself. Don't expect any help from outside. You are the light. See, when Buddha was about to give up his body, that parinirvana, very, very beautiful scene that is. He had Kushinara was a place where he was dropping his body. So he was ready for that last thing, and he was lying down. That picture, if you see, it will be like Padmanabha, Ananda Padmanabha or Sri Ranganatha, like that only he will be lying. Then the chief attendant disciple, Ananda, who was actually a relative of Buddha, very interesting story. He knew Buddha from his childhood. So at the age of 53 or 54, they found that Buddha needed an attendant. At that time, they selected Ananda. Buddha also said he is the best person. Then this Ananda put forth some conditions. If I have to become attendant to Buddha, he should give me certain boons. Then only I will serve him. And what boon? Very beautiful. He says, wherever you are giving the Upadesha, I should be present. If I am not present there, I have gone somewhere else for some other work, you should repeat the Upadesha to me. That was one condition. Buddha said, okay. Then he said, if I bring some devotee to you for your blessing, you should not deny. This is the second condition. And some 3 or 4 other conditions Buddha gave him. This last moment, this Ananda was crying because he found they have their own terminology. In Vedanta we say a jnani, like that they will say arahant. But there is, before that there is a stage where they call Srotapanna. It's like the stream winner, that is how they translate it. I am not a scholar in Buddhism or anything, I just know certain things. The story I liked. The Srotapanna is one who has entered the stream. That means Ramakrishna used to say it is like going beyond the black waters. You have crossed the first turbulence. So you have reached into a kind of kripa srotas. So that they call Srotapanna. So Ananda was a Srotapanna. But suddenly he felt, I have not attained. Arahant. I have not attained. So he went to Buddha and cried. Then Buddha said, see, you think I can give you this. I am Siddhartha, I was Siddhartha, I strived, I put all my effort to attain that highest state and attained that state. Now you have to find it. Atmadipo bhava. This was his teaching. Atmadipo bhava. Be a light unto yourself. You be a light unto yourself. So this was the last message. So after that, very interesting story is there. So we are not going into it. So here Krishna also, the last message. He tells Uddhava, Atmano Guruhu Atmaiva Purushasya Visheshataha Yaf Pratyaksha Anumanabhyam Shreyosau Anuvindate. You will have Guru outside, you will have Shastra outside, you will have everything. But the real Guru is hiding in your heart. Even Patanjali Yoga Sutra, he says, Sapurvesham api Guruhu. That inner Guru is the Guru for everyone. He is timeless. He is the eternal Guru. So the outer Guru is there so that he can kindle that inner Guru. This Atma Vidya, Vedanta becomes utterly simple when you get the grace from outer Guru and the inner Guru. In Gita Bhashyam, Shankaracharya says, this is not at all difficult. It appears to be difficult for those whose mind are all extroverted. Bahyakara apahrita chittanam. Those whose mind is being robed by outer things, names and forms and objects. For them it is difficult. But labdha guruvatma prasadanam. Those who have got the grace of Guru and Atma. From outside, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi used to say, the outer Guru gives a push to the mind from outside and the inner Guru pulls the mind into the heart. So from outside there is a push and from the center there is an akarshana, pull, and the mind is made to subside in the heart. So the real Guru is the intelligence inside. Actually, see, you can see this in nature also. Sometimes, some birds, they fly from the other part of the globe to this part. About 19 hours, 20 hours they fly and come to you can predict where they will come, which tree they will come. Their mother or father bird has come to the same tree. To the same tree this bird will come. No Google map. Nothing. Who is guiding it? Such a perfect guide is there inside us, and still we think we need this, that, we don't have anybody to guide. The real guide is within you, hiding inside you. That is why we call it Upanishad. Upanishad means very intimate knowledge. It is Samipe, very near you, in your own heart, Santam Samipe. So such a teacher is there. So Krishna says, Uddhava, that teacher is constantly whispering from inside. No, there was one old lady in Ramanacharana. Many old women were there in the kitchen, cooks. Many of them attained. And there was one lady, Shankaramma. It was very, very dark, very unassuming. And their story is all almost same, because they were all young widows, in fact child widows. They will get married when they are only 8 or 9, and by 10 or 11 the husband will die. So they had no early life at all. So this lady's story is also same. When she was only 10 or 11, her husband died. And after that her brother looked after her. And he taught her how to write and read and bought all spiritual books like in Tamil. And Tamil, there is a parampara of Vedanta, Tamil Vedanta. It's all, most of them are translations. Yoga Vasishta and Vedanta Chudamani, not Viveki Chudamani, Vedanta Chudamani, Jnana Vasishtam, Maharajaturav, Kaivalyanavanitam. This is all many texts. Those texts were all taught to her. And yet, with all the teaching, with all that knowledge and Vairagya, till you see a master who is in that state, the mind will not attain peace. So, at a certain stage, they were having Thirtha Yatra and they came to Tiruvannamalai. And in the temple, when they were worshipping there, the pujari there, he asked, have you come to see Ramana Maharshi? So actually she was hearing the name only there. They had no knowledge. But the moment she heard it, she entered into a kind of samadhi-like state. There was a bell ringing inside. I will find my master here. So thus they went to the ashrama. When she saw Maharshi, she felt, my search is over. I don't want to go back, because what will I do by coming back to house? I have nothing to do there, nothing to achieve there. But how can a woman stay here? It is not possible to stay in the ashrama. At that right time, the president there, he was talking to someone, will you get some cook? The cook, those who are cooking there is not there, so we need somebody to cook, to assist. So many devotees are coming. Even if they are women, we will make them stay in the town. They can come in the daytime, do the work and go back. So she said, this is God sent. She said, I will do. And she was doing the cooking there. And she had the tremendous vairagya, and inwardly it was peaceful. Shanti was there. So, but is this the state? This is the doubt that we said kunta. A kind of doubt is there. Is this the state? So she was carrying how to ask, because she is busy cooking and she is not, she has no time to go to the hall where Maharshi will be there answering questions. But compassionately, Maharshi will come to kitchen, help them in cooking, and he will say, do cooking like this, that, everything he will say will be there. So one day, that time also attendants will be there, they will not allow people to come near. So one day Maharshi was, after taking his lunch, he was with a neem stick, he was brushing his teeth and standing alone. Then she went to him and did a namaskar and chanted one verse from Kaivalyanavanitam in Tamil. Very beautiful verse, where the disciple, after getting that state of experience, that joy, the disciple is expressing his gratitude to the master. This is the song. The disciple says, Ayyane, Ananta Janmangal Yanadule Yanayanda Mayyane. O Lord, for many births, innumerable births, you have been within me, whispering to me the teaching. But I was heedless. I could not hear your teaching then. From heart you were teaching, but I could not hear. Enadule yanayanda meyyane, upadeshikya velivanda guruve potri. But in this birth, you have come in this beautiful form before me to give me the teaching and push my mind inward. Upadeshikya velivanda guruve potri, uyave mukti nalhum udavikyor udavinayen. You have done this great udavi, this great help by, I am only a street dog. Eating whatever I get, I eat. Like that, whatever objects I can see, I will absorb them. But compassionately you have come before me to give me liberation. What can I give back to you other than doing a namaskara? So saying this, the disciple is saying, Potri Tiruvadi, Potri Potri. I am doing namaskara. When she said this, Maharshi looked at her and smiled and said, just nodded his head and then said, the answer to it is there in the next verse. He didn't chant the verse, he simply said, the answer to it is in the next verse. The next verse is, when the disciple says this, the Guru becomes so happy and he says, Shishyan ivvaru kura, Deshikan mahizhindu nokki. That Deshika became so happy, Kittavayanave azhaithu. He says, you come near me. You come near me. He said, Kittavayanave azhaithu. And he says, Dushtamam tadaigal moondrum tudarada vannam. The three obstacles, that is Ajnana, Viparita Jnana and Samshaya. Without these three obstructing you, Swarupa Jnana Nishtana Irupayagil Nishayum Udaviyame. The only help that you can give to Guru is getting established in Swarupa Jnana without being shaken by doubt or by ignorance or by misapprehension. Get established. That is the only service that you can do to your master. Saying this, he just smiled and went away. So this is Upanishad. You have that presence of the master, and the master tells you, I am within you, in your own heart. So, Atmano Guruhu Atmaiva, you use all that materials you get in the world. Pratyaksha and Anumana. Pratyaksha Anumanabhyam. But you use it in such a way that you will take the mind to the peaceful state, the quietude, Shanti. Any incident happens in life, you take it to drive the mind inward, to the heart, to make it abide in the heart, to make it abide in the self, or Bhagavan's Nama, or Bhagavan's form, whatever may be your spiritual practice. Everything becomes a help to you. So this is Paurusha. The Paurusha or will is used, indomitable will. That is what Swami Vivekananda says, indomitable will. You have that will, you use it in such a way that every single event in your life takes you towards God. Saying this, Krishna said, Uddhava, I will tell you an incident. This is our natural way. You know what happened long back. Somebody asked, what is the most liked, interesting sentence in the world? You utter that sentence, everyone will become alert. And the sentence is, once upon a time. You just say once upon a time, people will just become alert. So that is the method. So Krishna also says, once upon a time. Something happened long back when my grandfather and great-grandfather, Yadu Maharaja. So he is, because of that, Krishna's family is called Yadava Vamsha. So Yadu was also a Brahmavit. That is why Krishna was born in that family. So Krishna is saying, you know why I came in this lineage? Because my great-great-grandfather Yadu was a Brahmavit. He attained Brahmajnana. How did he attain Brahmajnana? He was a great king, and he was one day moving about on the bank of a river Kaveri. There is the same Avadhuta was met on the bank of Kaveri by Prahlada. There is a story different. So Yadu was moving about and looking at the world. People are all very busy. You can see in Bangalore. Very, very busy and very, very serious. Going here, there, for what? We don't know. Very, very busy and running hither, thither. And we don't know what we are going to achieve, where we will reach, but very busy, no time. In the very beginning, Shukacharya tells this to Parikshit. He says, Parikshit, you know the worldly people, they are all very busy. They have no time to listen to Atma Tattvam. Nidraya hriyate naktam vyavayena chavavayaha divacha arteha ya rajan kutumba bharanena cha. He says they have kutumba bharana, nidra, arteha, all these things so busy, no time. Adityasya gata gataihi aharaha samshiyate jivitam. Bhartrihari says, the sun rises and sun sets, one day is gone. Vyaparir bahubhara karya gurubihi kalopi na jnayate. Bahubhara karya. No, I have so serious, so many things to be done. Not aware that time is running short. Kalopi na jnayate. Is there no reminder? So many reminders are there. Drishtva janma jara vipatti maranam. They are seeing birth, death, old age, disease, separation, everything you are seeing. Trasasyanotpadyate. They are not afraid. Very courageous people. Very brave. Trasasyanotpadyate pitva mohamayim pramadamadiram. They are all drunkards. Drunk deep the wine of ignorance, he says. They have drunk deep the wine of ignorance, because of which they fail to wake up and see the seriousness of the problem. So many busy people, amidst that, suddenly his eyes, you don't remember, forget, it is about Yadu Maharaja. So he says, he looks at that crowd, and in the middle of the so many people, his eyes fall on a young monk, an Avadhuta, very healthy, very young, very radiant, very peaceful, very quiet, and bubbling with joy. So much of ananda is there in him. So this is how, see, many saw Ramakrishna also. It is not by teaching. They saw him when Hari Maharaj or even Tulasi Maharaj, those incidents are all very beautiful. When they look at Ramakrishna, they saw, he sees Shukabrahma Maharshi, who is coming here, so much of bliss, so much of joy. By that only people recognize Mahatmas. A very beautiful incident of Swami Brahmananda, Raja Maharaj they call him. One disciple wanted to show his friend who was an atheist, Swami Brahmananda, who was a spiritual giant, a direct Manasa Putra of Ramakrishna he is called. So he took this friend to Swami Brahmananda to introduce, to tell him, to show him what is spirituality. So he took Swami Brahmananda there. But this person who took him, he was disappointed. Because Swami Brahmananda was speaking some worldly things, gossiping, some worldly matters he was speaking, cutting jokes and laughing. No spiritual things. They sat there for 1 hour or so. He didn't talk anything spiritual. And when they stood up and they were about to leave, Swami Brahmananda said, once in a while we speak about God also. He said, once in a while we speak about God also. But see, when they came out, this friend said, all my life I never had such a joyful experience This happens because the presence is more important. No, more than what they speak, what they do, what they are in themselves. Their mere sannidhi is important. That sannidhya, just bubbling with joy. So much of joy was emanating from that being. He looked at that being. Bhagavata is, Shukacharya will not say the name of some great beings, or Suta will not say, because it is Dattatreya. It's Dattatreya who is moving about. So, he is in full radiance, he is moving about. So, he is asking, this king Yadu goes to him and do namaskara. And he said, Bhagavan, can you tell me, where from did you get this bliss? How did you get this bliss? Kuto buddhiriyam brahman akartuhu suvisharada yamasadhya bhavan lokam vidwan sharati balavat. You are a vidwan, but you are moving about like a bala. Actually, that is the sign of a vidwan. Pandityam nirvidya balyena tishtaset. The pandityam is perfect, but the person is like a child. He is absolutely free. So, kuto buddhiriyam brahman. You are not doing anything. Akartuhu suvisharada, very clear, very perfect. He has not even spoken to him, but he feels the buddhi is so perfect. It is perfect intelligence there. So, yamasadhya, by which knowledge you are moving about in this terrible world, so with so much peace, so much joy, bubbling with joy. What is that hidden secret? See, actually, you should not ask a person. If somebody is crying, you can ask, why are you crying? That is what you should do. Somebody is weeping, but the world is very topsy-turvy. Somebody is crying, they will understand, oh, some problem is there. So we should not ask. But somebody, you see, go on laughing, they will say, I thought when he was going to that satsanga, then also I thought some problem will come. So there is some problem. So this is not natural. When a person is having some disease, you can ask why you are suffering. But a person is healthy, you go to him and ask why you don't have any heart attack. It is like this. Actually, he is asking, why are you blissful? Why are you happy? What is the secret of this happiness? And who is asking? A king. He has everything in the world. He has to just do like this. People will come and give him everything. And he is asking, what is the secret of this happiness? Kuto buddhiriyam brahman akartuhu suvisharada yamasadhya bhavan lokam vidwan sharati balavat. As a vidwan, you are moving about like a child, as a jivan mukta. Prayo dharmartha kameshu vivitsayam cha manavaha hetunaiva samihante ayusho yashasa shriyaha tvam tu kalpaha kavirdakshaha subhago amrita bhashanaha nakarta nehase kinchit jadonmatta pishachavat. Great Mahatmas, sometimes they move about like small children, or sometimes like a dunce, a fool, or sometimes like mentally retarded, insane, sometimes like a pishasha. There was an Avadhuta in our village. He was just very peaceful, but with dirty clothes and jata, he will be moving about in the village. Once in a while, he will come to our home and ask for tea. So only that. We have tried to give him some good cloth, he will not accept. So one day, after giving some talks, some satsanga, in those days I will be moving about alone. So I was coming in an auto, that too night 1 o'clock. I have landed there in a train and I was going in the auto and I was sitting in the auto rickshaw and sleeping actually. Suddenly I heard a scream, alarm, because the auto has entered our village. The auto driver was frightened because some figure was standing in the road. He was frightened. He was screaming. He said, Swami, what is it? I said, don't fear. He is a sadhu. He is a Mahatma. He was really afraid. He put me in my place and drove the auto through another road. So like Pishacha, you look at that person, he appears like a ghost to you. So sometimes like that, sometimes like a child, sometimes like a perfect acharya. various ways the Jivan Mukta appears in the world. So he asks, Tvam tu kalpaha, kavihi, you are very healthy, you are a poet, or you can say you are a sage, you are intelligent, very handsome, and when you speak there is amrita, nectar flowing, amrita bhashanaha. And Ekanath Maharaj says, wherever you look, the world disappears there, only Brahman shines forth. The very look, it falls there, the world disappears and only Brahman shines forth. In such a stage, you are moving about in the world. And you, a very beautiful example he gives. This is how you feel when you see a sage. He says, when the forest is on fire, the animals will run helter-skelter in the forest. And the elephant is one of the most intelligent animal in the forest. What does the elephant do? The elephant goes to the pond or lake or river or Ganga is flowing inside the forest. It will go and stand in the center of Ganga, unaffected by the fire. Like that elephant, you are in this world. People are being burnt and roasted in the fire of Ajnana. Janeshu dahyamaneshu kama lobha davagnina. Kama and lobha, desire and greed, the fire, wildfire of desire and greed. People are affected. Natapyase agnina muktaha gangambastha ivadvipaha. Like the elephant standing in Gangambas, in the Ganga water, you are absolutely cool, absolutely shitala. One devotee wrote about Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi a song, and the song will enter Ati Shitala Paramashivam Arunachala Guru Ramanam. Like that it will end. Ati Shitala Paramashivam. It is so cool. The brain which is thinking, suddenly has settled down in absolute coolness. There is great Shitalata. You can see Parameshwara. His head has all cooling systems. Water flowing, moon there, everything is a cooling system. Like that is this Brahmavidya. It makes your head so cool, no thoughts, absolutely still. Nishala Tattvam. That stillness is there, that coolness is there, that Shitalata is there. Yoga Vasishta says, Samudrasyeva Gambhiryam Sthiryam Meroriva Sthitihi Anta Shitalata cha Indoho Ivodeti Vicharina. When the person progresses in Atma Vichara, he will have a Gambhiryam of like Samudra, like the ocean, very profound, very deep. Sthiryam, a stability like the Meru mountain. Sthiryam Meroriva Sthitihi. And his heart, Anta Shitalata cha Indoho. His heart is so cool, like a full moon. Ivodeti vicharena. All that signs he looks and he perceives in this Jivan Mukta. And the Raja is asking, see, the king is also very intelligent. That is why he was able to recognize all these signs of a Mukta Purusha. So, you are like that. What is the secret? If you can reveal to me that, please tell me. Tvam hinaf prichadam brahman Bruhi Anandak Bru Brahman Atmani Ananda Karanam Bruhi Sparshavihinasya Bhavatakyevalatmana. He calls the yogi a Sparshavigina yogi. In Gaudapada Karika, Gaudapadacharya says it is Asparsha Yoga, the yoga of touchlessness. Completely, you are in the world, but Asangata is there. Asparsha yogo vainama sarvasattva sukavaha. It gives great peace for the person. This Asparsha yoga. Krishna, this Yadu Maharaja is seeing that Asparshata in that yogi. He is in the world, but he remains completely untouched by the world. That Asangata, Nisangata is there in him. Seeing this, he is asking, what is the secret? What is the Upanishad behind it? Upanishad means Rahasya. So what is the Upanishad? Vruhi sparsha vihinasya bhavataha kevalatmanaha. You are non-dual. You are alone, untouched. What is the secret? The Avadhuta smiled because a ripe, deserving disciple is asking for teaching. He has found out. See, sometimes to find a great Mahatma is not that easy. When disciples used to go to Ramakrishna, if they ask about Ramakrishna to the local people, they will say he is a mad person, that mad priest. And still they have to go. They will be pulled there. And Ramakrishna was suffering from cancer. Swami Turiyanandaji was called Hari. He was also a great Mahatma later on. He asked Ramakrishna, Thakur, how are you feeling? He said, so much of pain is there. So much of suffering is there. Then Swami Turiyanandaji, Hari Maharaji told, but I feel you are in bliss. Inwardly you are in bliss. Then Ramakrishna said, oh, the rascal has found me out. He said, you have found me out. So this finding the sage inside, however may the sage behave outwardly, you are able to see, that is the chaturya of the disciple. That is why the Upanishad said the disciple is also a wonder. Asharyo labda, kushalosya labda, asharyo labda, both are same. The disciple is also an asharya, he is also a wonder, because there is one principle in spiritual life. A worldly person and a jnani will sometimes look same. But a sadhaka will look great. In the middle, in the sadhana period, the vairagya will be there, force will be there. Then people will say, what vairagya? But after attainment, they will again look like a normal person, but their job is over. Their work is over. Then it is very difficult to find out with the brain. You should know only by intuition, by grace. By grace only you can identify the sage, the enlightened being, because he is very normal, not anything special. Outwardly you see him like anyone else. But when you are able to see through him, that happens, when you are destined to get his blessing, you will see him like that. You will look at him like that Purnavastu, as Brahma. So here he looked at the sage and found out, because so many people are seeing the sage, they did not find him. But when he looked at the sage and found out that he is not an ordinary person, he is a Brahmavetta, he is a Jivan Mukta, then the sage was ready to open up. Yadunaivam mahabhago brahmanyena sumedhasa prishtas sabhajita praha prashrayavanatam dvijaha. That prashrayavanatam, he surrendered, did namaskara to the sage, and he just left aside all his royal behavior and was behaving like a devotee, surrendered, humble devotee. He stands there and says, Bhagavan, teach me. This, you should not forget who is telling this story. Krishna is telling this story to Uddhava. And who is narrating that? Sudha is narrating to Shaunakadi Maharshis. So one story inside another story inside another story. Like that Bhagavatam comes. So this is narrated by Krishna to Uddhava, and the advice in the very beginning, the teaching is given by Dattatreya, the Avadhuta. See, Avadhuta means what? Avadhunanam means blowing out. He has blown out all the dust from his body. He is absolutely free. So Avadhuta means people think he wears only a kaupina and moves about. No. A jnani is an Avadhuta, whoever he may be. In whatever form he is, a realized soul is Avadhuta. So here also, this Avadhuta is there, and he says, I will tell you. Lighting the lamp is jnanam. Before lighting the lamp, you have to prepare the lamp, you have to pour the oil, you have to put the wick. All these prerequisites are needed. After lighting the lamp also, sometimes wind will come blow the lamp. So there you have to close the window, make outer arrangements so that the flame will remain flickerless. Yatha deepo nivatastho nengate sopama smrita yogino yatachittasya yunjado yogamatmana. As Gita says, like nivata deepa iva nishalangaha manonmani magnadhiyo bhavanti. The Yoga Taravali is a very beautiful verse. Nivata deepa iva nishalangaha, like a flame in a windless spot. Like that, the jnana is so steady. Till one attains that, one has to do preparation before and after. Before, to get the jnanam. After getting the knowledge, when one is doing the nididhyasanam, all this outer arrangement, so that the jnanam will not get disturbed. This they call vidvat sannyasa, is only for that. Vividisha sannyasa and vidvat sannyasa. So this here Avadhuta says, I have many gurus, not one or two, 24 gurus. Santi me guravo rajan bahavo buddhyupashritaha. All those gurus we will see in the last coming 3 more days. Hope we will be able to see all the 24. So tomorrow in the evening we will start this Avadhuta Upadesha. Generally when we say Uddhava Upadesha, we mean only this. After that, very, very profound portions come. That need to be deeply heard and contemplated, and one has to live that. So here, this 24 gurus that we will see. Tomorrow we will continue in the evening. Satyam jnanamanantam nityamanakasham paramakasham Goshta prangana ringana lolamanayasam paramayasam maya kalpitananakaram bhuvanakaram shmamanathamanatham pranamata govindam paramanandam govindam paramanandam bhaja govindam Govindam Paramanandam Bhaja Govindam Paramanandam Yato Mamatma Bhavasi Tvameva Tato Navachyam Mama Kinchidasti Yatha Taveshtam Kurumam Tatheva Tvam Atmanatham Ramanam Bhajam Sarvatra Govindanama Sankirtanam Janaki Kantasmaranam Hara Namah Parvati Pataye Hara Hara Mahadeva Jai Ramakrishna.